Hello, everybody. It's time for the Go Team show. I'm going to share the presentation here and share that other little thingy. So this is Go Team, a mad method for Grasstops outreach. And my name is Bruce Hagan. I am the Go Team program manager from the Business Climate Leaders Action Team. I've been a CCL volunteer for about 6 years. I co-founded the Santa Rosa chapter and the BCL Action Team. And over the last half century, I've been a campus and community organizer, a technology, sustainability, and clean energy program manager, and an energy aide to US Senator. And now a grandpa. So the objective of this presentation is to convince you to pursue a Go team. Tell you a little bit about it, but ultimately get you to go back, recruit a Go team leader in your chapter, maybe you, someone else maybe, to review our online content, and to schedule an intro call and a team kickoff meeting with BCL. And I don't think I have to tell you that Grasstops are important. Take a minute to really absorb this. My favorite far side. So we start with the foundation of existing citizens climate lobby / education, Grasstops engagement, one of the 5 levers of political will. And whether you've got a great program or a growing program or aspirations, this is an important foundation because you've already got the fundamentals in CCL's existing work with members of Congress and with Grasstops outreach. What we're doing with Go teams is packaging and adding 4 things. So first is teaming. We support recruiting and training and retaining your team members, and this is a critical piece, of course. We have, I'm going to push the right buttons here, Bruce. Techniques for identifying, contacting, and engaging community leaders. Mentoring, this is during the startup phase, but ongoing. And last but not least, leads for introducing you to influencers. So let's look first at teaming and what makes a successful team. They have good players, but that's often, usually, not enough. The ways that they can improve and be truly winning is they are committed to a common goal, like getting 15 local companies to sign a leader's letter and attend a meeting with the local member of Congress. One example. They are organized and disciplined. In basketball, we used to have plays and patterns and drills. With Go teams, for instance, we all want to work from a single list of prospects. We want to have regular meetings, and we want to do everything else that makes CCL teamwork effective, which means we communicate, we support, and we share with each other. And of course, we have fun. For CCL, we start on time, we have fun. And no matter what the score, we are winners. We're all learning in this. We're amateurs becoming the best climate lobbyists that money can't buy. So techniques, what do we mean by that? So we have tools in place already, the Grasstops engagement tracker, and all sorts of wonderful training. We have something, when we start off, we'll give you a list of the top 250 employers in your district, which is great, but it's overwhelming. So how do we filter through that and any of the others you've been able to brainstorm? So one of the ways, we have this thing called the ALI rating. And we don't mechanically or recommend you go through and put a number next to every one of these and add them up, and the lowest score wins. But it does give you a way to think about some of the choices you face as you look through your list of prospects. So first on that list is access, which means how much effort's going to be required to actually get a meeting with them. If this would be a 1 if you were best friends with the CEO at the brewing company, and it would be maybe a 3 if it was a complete cold call. So the next one is, once you get to them, how likely is it they're going to act, to collaborate with you, to advocate for a carbon fee and dividend? And examples there, you can see that the coal company is not very likely to act, whereas the brewers, apparently, they like this sort of stuff, and so on. And the final is impact. How much influence are they going to have based on what they're willing to do with our member of Congress? So again, it's not a formulaic thing, but it gives you a way to think about the choices that you need to make to really focus on the right goals. So here's another thing about techniques, how to get that first meeting with the right people. We tried for a year to get a meeting with Monsanto, nothing on emails, until someone said, hey, why don't we use their contact us form? Somebody filled it out and we got a call back the next day. Now you figure the reason for this, what could that be? Well, email cold calls get a lower priority because they're unsolicited, but their contact us page is a standing invitation for them. So they've probably got somebody whose job it is to respond the next day, and lo and behold, that's what happened. We've got a great relationship with Monsanto now. They participated in some of our BCL events at the conference, for instance. Another example is SunPower, same thing, a year or more worth of just nothing. And finally, one of our CCL members said, hey, my wife's brother-in-law works with this person you're trying to contact. I'll ask my wife to call that guy. So she did, and a few days later, this policy director called us back. She was very apologetic for the non-response. And this is interesting. She said she wanted to talk. She was very supportive, but she was just too busy to prioritize a stranger or an unsolicited call. So you're going to run into a lot of delays, but you have to remember, for the most part, that 87% of the people that believe deep down in their heart that we've got to do something about climate, they're ready to work with you. Okay? So mentoring, this basically means that this fellow here in the upper right and a handful of others will work with you before your project or your outreach effort starts. We'll work with you during the kickoff meeting, help facilitate that and train you how to do it. Really what we want to do is help you learn to be a better community leader. And again, recurring team meetings and one-on-one calls. So last of all is networking. There's another aspect of business climate leaders, something called sector teams. We're going to turn on our laser pointer here so you can see. These sector teams work with Fortune 500 companies and trade groups. And they're about getting them to collaborate and lobbying Congress collectively. Excuse me, I know this is poor form. Collectively for carbon pricing, carbon fee, and dividend. But also they make connections there. We make connections with these companies, Schneider Electric being an example, that have all of these facilities across the United States, and the managers of those facilities or those divisions or whatever can join with us after we get the referral when we go in to meet with Congressman Simpson or Congressman Huffman or any of these others here. So that's part of the referral network that we're trying to establish here. And in addition to that, we want to try to get referrals across geographic boundaries between teams. And you may have heard earlier, the coordination is we're going to have a monthly call and have some sort of online capability, maybe in the GET, to make it really easy to see if you've got this company, here are 7 others where people have already got an endorsement. And I don't know, there's potential's endless. So you get the idea. It's all about networking. And I think I've already covered these things. Yes, I have. Strategies and toolkits, hospitals and schools and clean energy companies and ski areas have all shown a great willingness to work with us. So we actually have information that will help you write a good intro letter and what do you want to bring up in your meeting and all that sort of stuff. Your toolkits. So here's an example, Silicon Valley Leadership Group. Steve Ham's one of our co-founders of BCL, worked with his counterpart at that group And we got this convening of all these huge name companies. They're now having regular sessions to figure out what position and strategy they want to take on federal carbon pricing legislation, and it's looking very promising. And we took advantage of these relationships. So when Idaho was trying to get a leader letter going up there, they had a big HP facility and a Cliff Bar bakery. We were able to help them make connection with the local people through the headquarters office. So to wrap it up here, this is the Google Sites where you can get a lot of this information. It is both a combination of original material that we've been developing in BCL, as well as links to all the other great content that's in community and CCL University. Or CC University. Here's just an example, and I'm going to go through these really quickly, but things that you can use like stories, articles with brief introductions that you can share with your partners. So if somebody finds this story about the impact of something on insurance and you're working with an insurance company, you'll be able to find that content and send an email to your buddy and they'll say, wow, those CCL people have really got their act together. They found something that I'm very interested in that I hadn't seen yet. Or one way or another, we're building credibility as a trusted partner. And that's just an example, probably the best. There's other things, you know, what do you want to do if they say no to an endorsement? What are the alternatives? And the point of this is really making it very easy for you to go, oh, click the home page here, find this thing, up, there it is, bring it up, copy, paste it. Okay, we're coming close to the end here. If we were doing an exercise, this is what it would be. So if you want to do this somehow in your region or your chapter, you can use this exercise. But since you're not with me now, we'll go on. So if you want to join the Business Climate Leaders mailing list, you can go to this tiny URL. Also, if you go to CCL Community, and we have the same link there, take you out to a survey where you can say what you're interested in, what chapter, blah, 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 and we'll get hold of that and get back in touch with you. This is my contact information here, and that's it. That's it. So time for questions. I've got all the time in the world. Please ask questions. And last of all, I thank you, and Little May thanks you.